Female Food. Today I would like to talk about the negative messages that you may have received as a child. I know growing up as a child for me was very hard. It was not easy in regards to having parents that were both really did the best they could as being parents, but they were alcoholics. So, based on the fact that they were alcoholics, they really couldn't give me what I needed as young as a child. And so I grew up as a wounded young woman, not knowing that I was traumatized by just not having parents that really weren't effectively caring for me or nurturing me in my life. So as I grew up and went out into the world, here I didn't know who I was. I have, would take on all these different type of ways of being because I'm trying to find myself. I know we all grow up with insecurities, but it's different when you have nothing inside of you and you have no guidepost or no boundaries or nothing set inside of you telling you, okay, well, this is, not acceptable. This is acceptable. This, someone saying something to you, this is not how people are supposed to talk to you. This is not how people are supposed to treat you. I had no boundaries, I had no direction, there was no me in regards to what was right and what was wrong. I had no clue as to what was right or what was wrong. So, my little girl inside, she was just very wounded, because she didn't know who she was, because whatever trauma, the trauma that I went through, or just not having a mom there. My mom was an alcoholic. My dad was a worker. He worked very hard, but he was never around in the home. He would be out, with his friends or doing whatever he was doing, but myself and my brother, we were left with my mom to just hang around her, and she was an alcoholic and she was battling her demons. And so we just I didn't get the nurturing that I needed to be a successful or healthy young woman. And it was very hard for me. I struggled in many areas because I didn't know who I was or what I was supposed to do or what was expected of me, or I had no clue as to what I wanted to do or anything like that. So today I just like to talk about the fact that the wounded child inside has a voice too, and that wounded child wants to be healed. And for me, I went through so much, but now I'm here by God's grace. I'm here and I'm able to talk about the pain that I felt and what I went through in the world, and being in different relationships and stuff, and how I was always repeating like this same pattern of being. The relationship starts out really well, and then after a while it ends up like the same way. I'm getting crushed, I'm getting hurt, my feelings is getting hurt, and it's just ending badly over and over and over and time again. So this kept happening to me, and I didn't know what it was. I didn't understand it. I just knew that the same stuff happens. I meet someone, I'm doing everything that I think that I'm supposed to be doing, being nice, being there, being caring as best as I can be there, and caring as much as I can care, but my care and my love is just over the top. It's too much. I'm doing too much. I'm taking on too much, and now I've just lost myself in this person. And each relationship that I had embarked upon, it was always that same music playing. It was that same thing. I was always taking their life and just forgetting about my life. And so when I would leave the relationship that always was turning out the same way, I was this battered, wounded woman once again, feeling like, wow, what did I do? I was doing what you wanted me to do. I was there for you. I was this, I was that. Why did you not want me? Why did you, treat me badly? Why? So after going through so many failed relationships, I started to realize that, the problem has to lie with me. It has to lie within me. and that instead of just looking at the other person and being angry and mad all the time, it's like, Tracy, it's time for you to start looking at yourself. So, after reading my word, with God, and listening to his word, and just feeling, hearing his spirit in me, I just felt, I was very compelled to just say, Lord, change me. I want to be different. I want to be a different person, because the problem is not lying with outside of me, it's inside of me. So once God started pointing me to the inside of me, I knew that the inside was damaged. And then he brought up the little girl in me, and then for some reason I always had this picture in my mind of me being this little girl hiding in the bedroom of our house. I would be hiding in a room, and I was just scared, And so when I prayed that prayer, God had brought that to me. The image of the little girl hiding in a room that was afraid, and that was me. I was that little girl hiding in a room, and I was afraid. And it's like, Dad, why am I afraid? Because there was some certain things that was going on in my, in my house, childhood house, that I don't want to discuss now, but I was just afraid of that. But I didn't have no clue that had really traumatized me as to what I had witnessed in my home. I was traumatized by that. And so based on me being traumatized by that, and also just not having a parent that was really there, not really knowing who I was, or or where I was gonna be each night, because we had a home, but my mom was not there and my dad wasn't there. So sometimes I would be running around all night in the street, because there was nobody really there to tell me that I couldn't do it, So that was traumatic, because I needed, a mother, I needed a father, I needed somebody to guide me, and that was not there. But when I prayed the prayer and God had brought that to me, that the picture of me, the little girl that was hiding and afraid, that was him telling me, you're wounded, your little girl inside is wounded, and she's afraid, and she wants to be loved, and she wants to be, heard, and she wants to be felt, and she wants to be hugged, and, she wants to be talked to in a right way. And that's why in all your relationships, they were ending up the same way, is because I was trying to get something from each man that I was involved with. I was trying to get him to invest in that child that was wounded, that hurt, that little girl that was, alone, afraid, scared. And each time I went into these relationships with these men, I thought that they can do that for me. I thought that they can heal me. I thought that they can be my everything and make me happy and give me things that I didn't get. But not knowing that no one can give me what I can give, no one can give that to me but myself. Nobody can do that for me but Tracy. I'm the only one that can start loving the little girl inside of me and taking care of that little girl and letting her know that she's okay and that she doesn't have to be afraid anymore. No one else can do that for me. But when you don't know that you're the only one that can do that for you, you and the help of God, you don't know, that it's possible that you can start making yourself happy, and you can start loving yourself, and you can start enjoying yourself, and you can start, disciplining yourself to have a better life. When you don't know that, you think that your answer is on the outside when the reality is on the inside. So I thank the Lord for bringing that to me, that, everything starts inside of us. Whatever we need to do is inside of us. And until we start healing the inside of us, our little child inside, the little girl or the little boy, is going to continue to be wounded. It's going to continue to hurt himself. It's going to continue to fall down and just hurt himself and have scrapes all on their knees and elbows and, and sand all in their hair and dirt all in their eyes. It's going to continue that process because It's wanting attention, and the attention has to come from the adult person, and that's how that little child inside will start to heal. I tell you, getting to that about the child inside, that's a serious reality. It's a serious wake-up call. It's like, man, you mean all this time I have to just pay attention to the little child inside of me that was wounded, that was traumatized when they were just a little kid, you know? But the beauty about life and the beauty about being here now, it's like if I had to go through that again, I would do it again, because if it wasn't for me going through, you know, the horrible relationships and the bad experiences, I wouldn't know who Tracy was right now, and I wouldn't know who the little girl inside was, crying out, you know. So the only thing that I can say is if you're having or you're experiencing patterns in your life, different patterns, but they are the same. It's like the same cycle that keeps repeating itself in your life. That is a sign that something is going on. That is a sign that something is going on is inside of you. Because for many years too, I had a pattern of being homeless. I was always homeless, always struggling with not having a home, not having a roof. So all these things stem from my childhood, because in my childhood we moved a lot. We moved around so much. But each time we moved, my dad was either moving us with the lady that he met, or he was, you know, something of that nature, or my mom wasn't there. It was just always something like that. But each time we moved into these situations, we as the children, I'm of 5 children that my dad has had, we were never the children that were being accepted. We always kept feeling like the children that were on the outside, or the child that was on the outside. We were never being accepted. So again, the little girl inside of me as I grew up was always putting myself in situations where I was being rejected. Because in my childhood, I was being rejected. Everywhere I went, we were being rejected, excuse me. My siblings and I were being rejected. So it was the same process that was happening over and over and over again. You know, it was just never ending. And so I took all that junk food from me from my childhood, and I carried it into my adulthood. But then here I am operating like a child, because the adult woman hasn't really fully developed into the woman that she needs to be, because the little girl inside of her is still hurting and in pain. And so that's what's going on. I'm operating on the little child that's inside of me instead of the adult woman that's on the outside of me. And so that's the thing about being, excuse me, that's the thing about being not healed in your emotions, or still sick, or still having these patterns in your life. You know, because you're going to just keep repeating the pain and the hurt and the pain and the hurt and the pain and the hurt, until you wake up and say, you know what, I got to break this cycle. I got to break this, because this is not the person that I'm dealing with that keeps hurting me. It's me hurting myself over and over again. I keep wounding myself over and over again. And so we can stop the pain. We just have to pay attention to the little child inside of us. We have to start paying attention to that child inside of us and say, you know what? I do recognize you. I recognize that you're hurting. I recognize that you're in pain. I recognize that you're afraid. I recognize that you want to be noticed. You want to be heard. I recognize all that. And I'm going to start paying attention to you. I'm going to start giving you what you need. And you know, once we start doing that, then we can start to heal. And then we can start to mature. So this is my video on healing the child inside. The child inside is you, you know. If you're having patterns in your life, you can break the cycle, break the patterns right now. Just break it, just switch it up. Do something different. And let that difference be you becoming the woman or the man that God has called you to be. Okay, thank you for watching my video. Thank you for receiving my food. I hope you enjoy the plates that I have been passing out. And again, remember, you are the child inside that needs to be healed. It is you, okay? And you can heal. All right, have a wonderful day, and I thank you very much for listening to my food. Thank you. Have a wonderful day. This is T Mentor Food. Bye bye.